Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips on how to reduce your cortisol. Now, I need to first say cortisol is not the devil. I know when I first started this journey into improving my hormonal balance, when I heard cortisol, I'd think stress, I'd think inflammation, and it was honestly just my lack of education, but also what's out there. Like what is the media putting out there that I'm reading and thinking is factual? So in today's episode, I'm going to talk about 5 things to reduce your cortisol, and I'm also going to share a bonus tip at the end. Because if I can give you guys more value, that is my mission. My ultimate goal is to have more females living the best life they can through living a life full of hormonal balance. And let's be honest, I don't know about you, but I was not taught about simple things like my menstrual cycle early on. For me, menstrual cycle, periods, menopause is like almost this unspoken thing, this unspoken part of all our lives as females that we go through, but no one's actually giving us the facts. And we can't run from this, we can't run from this, guys. Like, this is happening to us. How many of you, especially over the age of 30, into their 40s, are going into menopause? I mean, before this path, this journey, knew nothing about menopause. I didn't even know there was 3 phases. But let's get straight into it. So first of all, cortisol is not the devil. We actually need cortisol, and it's produced normally for us first thing in the morning in a cortisol boost. Now, I'm not a cortisol expert. This is from what I've researched and what I've done to help reduce my stress, which is linked to overproduction of cortisol. So usually it's produced in the morning when we wake up, which is why most of us, when we wake up in the morning, feel energized and ready to go. If you're waking up feeling really flat and quite depleted, this is a reason, and for me and a lot of the clients I work with, it's because of an hormone imbalance. So the first tip that I'd recommend is a good quality supplement. Now, I say that with caution because a lot of us are eating and drinking supplements, and there's so many supplements on the market nowadays that it's quite hard to know which supplement to go for. In my honest opinion, is do your research. Do not jump on the trend for the latest supplement that promises you everything that you think you need. Like, who doesn't want more energy? Who doesn't want to feel and look in the best shape of their lives but do nothing but drink a supplement? Like, we all know that a supplement is to supplement your diet. And the reality is a lot of us here, especially in Europe, well, in my case, I'm in the UK, we don't get enough sunlight. It's normally cold. I mean, for example, it's currently pouring with rain and we are in July. I mean, this is our summer. Like, what is winter going to be like? So I would definitely recommend educating yourself on supplements. For me personally, I take a supplement that has a high zinc element to it, a high magnesium element to it, but that's for me personally. You need to know what your body is deficient in, and that has a lot to do with the lifestyle and the current food choices you are making. So tip number 1 is a good quality supplement. Number 2, and a lot of people roll their eyes here, is breathing. So a breathing technique. And okay, if you're sat there thinking, Nika, I wouldn't be alive if I wasn't breathing. And I totally, that's factual. But when we're stressed, and linking back to our cortisol, normally if you're stressed at work or at home, or something's upset you or something's triggered you, what's the first thing we tend to do? I know myself, my chest, everything feels super tight, and I actually take a lot shorter breaths. So my inhale it's really short. And what happens over time, if we don't work on our breathing, which can slow everything down and help our body switch from a flight mode into a relaxation mode, what happens is over time we actually increase the inflammatory markers in our body, which is because of cortisol, but it's because it's enhanced by the lifestyle choices. So breathing techniques, let's do one together right now. Wherever you are, make sure you're not driving or lifting heavy equipment. In a nice comfortable position with a nice neutral spine, I'd like you to inhale for the count of 3 breaths. Hold. And now exhale with me for 6 seconds. Repeat this 10 times and let me know how you feel. I know when I do a lot of these really simple, like 2-minute breathing techniques, I feel so much better. Okay, the situation hasn't disappeared and the external stress is still there, but after doing the breathing technique, I'm not attached to that stress anymore. It's like something shifts in me when I reset my breathing that makes me approach and behave very differently, which has a real positive effect on my hormones, especially cortisol. And the third tip I have is processed sugars and foods. If you can reduce these from your diet, this will have a huge, huge effect on our cortisol. Most of us are eating, especially if you're a female out there who's time bound and has many things to do. For some reason, us females that are career driven, we think we can do a million things at the same time. And when I was in my 20s, I probably got away with this. I probably thought I was unstoppable. I had this visualization of like Wonder Woman, like just doing everything, you know. Have you seen the episode in Wonder Woman? She comes out of the trenches. It's not an episode, it's a film. She comes out of the trenches and she's all in that outfit. And as the bullets are flying at her, which is, I think, like the stress of life, she comes out and she's just like moving everything away, like just all the bullets like bouncing off her armor. And I feel like I was that in my early 20s. And when I got to my late 20s and my 30s, I was like, right, I'm struggling with things that I used to find a lot easier. And now I know it's because I was living on more processed foods, which your body is so good at almost helping you through. But after a period of time, and especially for us females in our 30s and 40s into our 50s, this is when it catches up with us. And this can seriously affect how we go through menopause. So reducing the inflammatory foods that you're eating today will have a huge effect not only on how you feel tomorrow, the next day, but when we get into that menopause stages. So it's fundamental. We can't hide from it. If you want to know more about this specifically, I have a free masterclass, which if you want access to, comment below or send me an email at info@trueselfmastery.com. I will happily send you through the free masterclass, and it goes into more detail about exactly these things we're talking today. The fourth one is good quality sleep. Again, such a simple concept and everything we do know. I'm sure it's not the first time someone's told you if you have good quality sleep, you rest, your body has chance to recover. But again, if you're in high cortisol and you're not eating properly, you're not breathing properly, you're fueling your body with processed foods, what's going to happen is your sleep quality will be affected. And I know so many females, especially in the so like early menopause stage, where they are having hot flushes, they're really struggling to sleep. And this is the hormonal change that we're all going through or have been through. So ensuring that you get that good quality sleep is fundamental to reduce your cortisol. And number 5 is the caffeine topic. Now, this is something that I would never preach because I'm not an expert in caffeine. However, if you're someone that drinks 5 coffees a day, and I honestly was like that, I would just survive on 5 coffees and think that was normal. Yes, you build up a thicker tolerance to it, but you're fueling your cortisol and you're not allowing your body to come down into more of a natural homeostatic state. You're always in that high cortisol level and you're just thriving and driving yourself more with caffeine. So if you're someone that is on 5 coffees, let's maybe go to 4 coffees and then maybe go to 3 coffees and lower yourself step by step as opposed to going cold turkey. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm that person, if someone says to me, you can't have that chocolate, all I think about is chocolate. And it's like that test that says, don't think about a pink elephant. Like all you can think about is the freaking pink elephant. So I'm not someone that can restrict myself. I'm someone that has to put a strategy in place that's easy for me to move away from something that is highly addictive and replace that with something that is long-term and sustaining for my health and hormone balance in the future. Now, the bonus tip that I've got for you, which is actually step number 6 when it comes to cortisol, is the type of exercise we're doing. We have so much more research to show that weight training for females is essential for our health, for our muscle mass, and to keep us stronger for the long term. However, for those females that still have their menstrual cycle and we're training, adapting your training cycle around your menstrual cycle will be an absolute game changer on your hormone health. And I wish someone told me this when I first started my period, because I'm someone who enjoys training. I used to think that it was all about cardio, and if I wasn't sweating, I was not doing a proper workout, which is a bunch of nonsense. But I was that person like who was doing weight training, and in between the sets, I was like boxing, and I was trying to get my heart rate up. I actually wish someone just slapped me, because it was not beneficial, and all that happens is you just wear and tear your joints more. Whereas if you train correctly with weights, most of the time you actually struggle. You need that rest. You need that kind of 60 to 90-second rest period. So when I then looked more into my menstrual cycle, and obviously we all know that even if you don't follow your menstrual cycle every month, you do know that coming up to it, your sugar cravings are higher and you feel like you're flat. The energy is low, which is why you crave more sugar. But trying to go to the gym and smash a PB or push yourself in a high rocks class is not ideal, and it's not ideal on so many levels, because you can be highly motivated, you can be really disciplined, but if it's not good for your health, you will be straining your hormone health. So top tip there is sync your training cycle to your menstrual cycle. If you want more help on this and any advice, email me or comment below and I can send you through a free training guide on how to do this sync and this link up. But that's it from me for today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.